Let's talk about the study environment. One of the biggest changes you can provide for your teen is a private, comfortable, but not too comfortable study environment. Most kids already are set up to work where they think they're comfortable. What's different here is that they're spending far more time, not just online, but online listening, online taking notes, and online writing. Even if they're in school for part or all of the day, they may still be online there. Try to ensure that everybody has a designated space, and that if somebody is going to designate the kitchen, as I am doing right now, because this is where I like to give my presentations, that nobody is cooking or answering the phone or doing anything else. Make sure that the area can either be kept for that child or there's a bin or somewhere where things can just be tucked away as opposed to things disappearing all over the house. Having a tuck away so everything is together also helps things stay in one spot. I want to talk a little bit about the technology piece. Just like our parents told us to sit back from the television many years ago, 6 to 12 inches is the minimum distance from the screen. 24 to 48 inches, which is 2 to 4 feet, is the recommended distance from a screen when you are watching a lecture. You think about the laptop having a fairly small screen, having the ability to have a big screen that the child can hook into is the way to be watching lectures. Some kids like to sit closer to the screen than farther, but not directly in front. That helps a lot with eye strain. It also means that the keyboard can still be used for input, for answering, for taking notes, but the screen itself should be eye level or a little bit lower. It's actually easier to look down than it is to look up from an eye perspective, less eye strain, and there should be good seating. Now, good seating is not necessarily on the couch or on the bed. Actually, the best seating that we've found for long-term online use are those gamer chairs. Gamer chairs are designed for long-term use in front of a screen, sometimes in front of multiple screens. They can have Bluetooth connections for extra audio, massage, armrests and footrests that move up and down. The price point can be anywhere from $100 to $800, so there's a lot out there. But I'm going to include a link from a website that evaluates chairs rather than promoting one product or another. I would suggest you have a look at that. A couple of other quick things. Lighting should be bright, but not neon. Okay, some outdoor lighting really helps. Having snacks that are easy and prepared at the go. Having the phone somewhere else, and this is controversial, okay, but it's really hard to focus on your studies when you're checking your phone. Last issue is whatever tools your child used before. If your child was a highlighter, if they were a sticky note user, try to encourage them to print out the things that they would normally highlight or put sticky notes on. Having as much paper backup, not just online, really makes a difference. We find that the 11s and 12s in particular have to take a lot of notes, and it's just too difficult if everything stays on the screen. Let's talk about some special cases, whether that's the child that already has some special needs. Perhaps they are a bit ADD, they may have a mild learning disability, they may be gifted, a child who could be feeling depressed, having some mental health issues, missing out socially, and as many of these young people are, just feeling what's the point. Here are some tips to help with that relating to study environment and social. First thing is, have your child play with the computer screen colors. Kids who complain of eye strain often do better with a less traditional white and black. Some of them may want a screen that is yellow on blue or green on pink. If it feels better, ask them to use that color screen. Have them up the font, increase the font size to something that is comfortable but not massive. Okay, the smaller font, more eye strain. Keyboards on laptops are notoriously hard on hands They create a lot of issues around fine motor. If you can get one of those keyboards that is crunchy, that has keys that really have a lot of give to them, crunchy keyboards, ergonomic keyboards, work better even if they're a supplement. A couple of things socially. Most kids are used to either relying on their friends or having study groups. We never are sure how much studying happens in study groups, but it's nice when it's there. There's no reason why study groups can't be virtual. And encourage your child, if this is something they did before, they should try to do it again, just the COVID way. Whether it's through Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft Teams, any study configuration that works for them, do it now. It will help them later. Parents and kids are getting innovative. We're in this pandemic for the long haul. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And investing in some bigger changes sometimes can make a difference. I have families who are fixing up decks or porches or even balconies in condominiums so that they're essentially all weather. You can be in an outdoor space just for a change. One of my favorite resources to see what other people are doing, whether it's a bunkie or it's a patio, is to go on Pinterest. Okay? Pinterest has those wonderful tear sheets and boards of ideas, and it's a great way to get some visuals about what's out there. So if you are working at home or if your child is working at home full time, put in a commute. Go for a walk or walk the dog, or even go up to the coffee shop and buy a coffee or a hot chocolate and bring it back, and then start the day. Building in a commute, whatever that routine is, really does help get you off to a fresh start. The last piece of the outdoors is that getting out, or at least about, every 2 hours is essential. So you can say after every 20 minutes, we're supposed to take a 20-second break, but ultimately, after every 2 hours, we're supposed to be outdoors or moving around to a different part of the house for 10-15 minutes. Good habit to have, but also something that kids can set timers up on their phones or on their computers just to prompt them. It's too easy for an entire day to go by in one spot, and that's just not healthy for any of us. Many kids need oral proprioceptive support to focus, okay? Chewing gum, especially fruity chewing gums, hot chocolate, not caffeinated beverages, but anything that they can sip on that keeps them focused and secure really does help get through. The last part is related to the social piece. If kids aren't hanging out and seeing each other as much, I would suggest that they invite their friend to something where there's a common interest, whether it's a meetup group, which is online, or an out-school class. And again, these are links that I'll provide you. Outschool has some wonderful programs that are career-driven. So if you're interested in forensics or journalism or neuroscience or marketing, you can take mini lectures in these for very little cost, geared to sort of 15 to 18-year-olds. And that's something that a friend can do with them online, even if they're not in the same place. Last part is to try to keep the organization load down so that keeping things simple, keeping routines, trying to stick to schedules, just like you did when they were 7 or 8, okay? Schedule needs to be their choice and based on their needs, but this is something they're going to need to take with them when they go to university or college, or if they're studying at home virtually, because the regular routines of university and college will not be in place next year, or even perhaps the year after.